97 ZOK, Steve Shannon Show with producer MJ. Our regular guest, Dr. Renk from SwedishAmerican, is on the phone with us this morning. 21 days ago, he got his first of the 2 COVID-19 vaccine shots. Today, he gets that second one. And in this 21 days, remember last time we talked right after you got in the first shot, basically all you had was just some arm pain, yeah?
The first day, actually, when I went to bed that night, I really didn't have any soreness. And I woke up the next morning, my arm was pretty sore, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And then 4 or 5 hours after I woke up, the soreness went completely away, and I haven't had any other side effects other than that.
Excellent.
But they do, the majority of the side effects, at least in the studies, occurred after the second vaccine. And the people that I know that have gone through the 2 series already, they experienced more of the side effects after, if they had any side effects, after the second shot versus the first. So we'll see today and tomorrow. And, the most common ones besides the injection site irritation, fatigue, headache, some achiness, and then a few people developed low-grade fevers. But, really the side effects when you have those to a vaccine, you can really think of it as your body. It's not necessarily, with mild reactions, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Your body recognized that you got a shot and it woke up, and your immune system woke up and reacted to it. So in a way, it's kind of a good thing. I mean, it doesn't mean you're not going to get immune if you don't have those symptoms, but if you have mild symptoms, your body recognizes the vaccine, so it's not necessarily a bad thing to go through that.
Sure. Okay.
55 and younger tended to have more side effects than the 55 and older crowd, and there really weren't very many serious reactions like people hear about. The allergic reactions. Those people had a known history of severe allergic reactions, so it could have been to food, it could have been to pollens or medications. But the people in the study that had the severe reaction did have a known history. So that's really the only steadfast contraindication to when you shouldn't get the vaccine is if you have a known history of severe allergic reaction to anything. Right now, at least with the Pfizer vaccine, and that's the one that I'm most familiar with, and that's the one that I'm getting today.
With this messenger RNA technology that this vaccine is using, how many years ago did you say they kind of started working on using this for vaccines? I mean, this wasn't the biggest component of this vaccine has been studied way before we found out about COVID-19. Yes? Yes.
So a couple things. One, messenger RNA technology was developed in the early 2000s and most widely used in some cancer therapy, gene therapy to fight cancer. So they use that to have your body kind of recognize cancer cells and have your own immune system go out and fight off the cancer, which is obviously pretty cool. And then, coronavirus is a known virus. I mean, this one is a different version of it. But so coronavirus has been studied and the spike proteins and that kind of thing have been studied in the past. So all this stuff isn't necessarily new. I mean, putting it together against COVID-19 is obviously new, but the technology has been around for more than a decade, and, they've perfected it. So I really don't have any reservations at all about it. And I know people do, and that's natural because it is a known kind of thing. But hopefully, as more and more people get it, I know by Christmas, Pfizer was estimating they'd given over 1 million doses worldwide. And so obviously that number is increased. And so with more and more people getting it and people seeing that, the side effects aren't really that bad, and this is our only way out. Because if you think about it, for this whole herd immunity thing to happen, a minimum of 70% of the population either has to get the vaccine or get the disease. And as of a couple weeks ago, before the vaccine, they started giving the vaccines, they estimated that about 16% of the U.S. population had the disease. And if we relied solely on the disease, you think all the junk that's gone around in the last year and how many people, I mean, it seems like way more than 16% of people have had COVID, but the models show that about 16% as of, before they started giving the vaccine had the disease. So if we wait strictly for the disease, I mean, how many years is that going to be? So the sooner people jump on board with the vaccine, the sooner we're going to get to that 70% mark. And that's really the only way that the pandemic is going to end and, or at least get under control. And, some of these restrictions are going to end is people either have to get the disease or have to get the vaccine. And I'd rather get the vaccine than play Russian roulette with the disease. And not for 90% of the people, it's a cold or not a big deal. But, if you want to take that 10% risk, and, unfortunately, a lot of people have gotten the disease and not come through. So I would vote for the vaccine and not getting the disease. So.
Listen, if you guys want to continue the conversation at any time with Dr. Renk from Swedish American, you can visit, he has a special Facebook page set up for just real good, honest information and conversation about COVID-19. It's Doc Billy. That's like the first name, and the last name is Renk, R-E-N-K. Doc Billy Renk on Facebook.